Alright, yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games, and what I got for you guys today, a special treat, is an update for my Prediction Princess SHADDOLLs. Now, Prediction Princess SHADDOLLs, I'll tell you guys a little bit about this deck for those of you who don't understand or know about this deck. Prediction Princess SHADDOLLs is pretty much my preferred way of playing SHADDOLLs, and what it is essentially a combo control deck. It's not just a control deck, but it's also a combo deck. It actually has some really high potential, and the capabilities of this deck are pretty numerous. It can do a lot of different things. It's actually a jack of all trades, and you'll see why in a minute what this deck is capable of doing. It also is capable of saying no to anything in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the terms of any actual effect, any kind of effect at all, any kind of special summoning, any monster effect, any spell or trap, anything at all. It can answer it all and say no for entire turns, like Calamity, stop a turn. Guard Dog, Guard Dog, stop a turn. Worm Weasel, stop a turn. Winda, Terra Tray, use special once. Book of Moon, it, stop a turn. Like Raigeki on your opponent's turn, in phase, bounce all 5 of your back rows. This deck is stupid. Draw until I have 10 cards. Like it does everything. It does everything. Like this deck does everything. It's seriously that good. It's in my top 5 favorite decks for a reason. And I don't like to play decks just to play them. You know, I play them because I love them and because I know what this deck can do. So I can vouch for this deck. I know that Prediction Princess is a great deck by themselves, but with SHADDOLLs, that's where it becomes a really competitive contender, in my opinion. I'm entitled to it. So let's go ahead and hop into the main deck. We're going to start off with 3 copies of Terra Tray. So Terra Tray is the main boss monster of the deck. Again, she's a ritual monster, so it may turn some people off. Some people don't like rituals, but this is my favorite mechanic. I prefer rituals. I love it. The challenge of building a ritual deck it's just really fun. So we have 3 Terra Tray. If you do not know what this card does, essentially this is what she embodies: an extender, a follow-up, a starter card, an interruption by herself. Literally. And she also is like one of the craziest recovery plays in your deck. So she's all of that. Like she's nearly a jack of all trades by herself. She can disrupt your opponent's combo plays. She's a Book of Moon quick effect. She can target your face down monsters and flip them face up. She speeds the deck up because SHADDOLLs are flip effects. Now you can actually set your flip effect monster and flip it the same turn it was set. She just solves so many problems. Every single one of your in faces, she special summons a flip effect monster face down from your hand or your graveyard. Literally every single one of your in faces. You can just build up so much steam and build up so much tempo. And when you're grinding, as long as you have one of her, you're guaranteed to make a really crazy play next turn. And you're about to see one of the reasons why. So 3 Terra Tray. She's definitely the sword of the deck. And then the shield is going to be 2 Pot of Forbidden and the 1 Morphing Jar. I was going to bump this guy up to 3, but I actually have 3 other ways to search him out to mitigate that. So Pot of Forbidden and Morphing Jar are some of the unfair cards in this deck. This deck plays a lot of unfair cards, and I'm going to show you guys actually more than just these. We also have the 2 Guard Dogs and the 2 Whirlwind Weasels. So the final, I think, unfair card that I play in the main deck is going to be Reversible Beetle. You guys can laugh at this card and say it's a joke and say that it sucks, and you'll get bodied by this. I'll beat you with this card and you're going to feel really dumb. Like, don't underestimate Reversible Beetle. I'll get to him when I get to him, but this card's insane and it's not fair either. So we're going to talk about Pot of the Forbidden. So Pot of the Forbidden essentially is named Pot of the Forbidden because he has 4 effects of cards, and each one of those effects replicate or reminiscent of a card that was once upon a time on the ban list. So he can draw 2. He can return all not set but all spell or trap cards on the field. He can destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and he can also look at your opponent's hand, shuffle 1 card from their hand to the deck. The effect that looks at your opponent's hand and shuffles a card is hard once per turn. The other 3 effects, use them as you will. Now, you would say, why didn't Konami just make them all once per turns? It's a flip effect. How on earth were you going to be able to resolve multiple in the same turn in the first place? Well, Terra Tray helps you out with that. So essentially with Terra Tray, you can double up on your Pot of the Forbiddens, and you can actually go, for example, if you had one face down, you can come on your turn, you can flip them, draw 2, use Terra Tray, set them, flip them, draw 2. Like, you can really start going off, you guys. It's pretty crazy. So Pot of the Forbidden is really nuts. It also is one of the main ways for you to disrupt your opponent. If you don't have access to your extra deck, you can actually clean your opponent's clocks with your main deck. That's how good this deck is. This card's unfair. This card's not fair, obviously, especially considering when I can have 1 card in my hand and I can just discard that 1 and draw 5, whereas you can have 8 cards in your hand and discard those 8 and draw 5. So yeah, the way I use this card makes it unfair, and because it's not once per turn, and because it's recyclable, and because you can abuse it and resolve it more than once, you could actually deck thin so much that you can deck people out with this card. So do not underestimate Morphing Jar. It literally was indirect support to the Prediction Princess archetype by it coming off the ban list once upon a time at 1. Guard Dog, if it's flipped, your opponent can't special summon that turn. If this is flipped, your opponent can activate spells or traps that turn. No, that's not broken. There's nothing unfair about that. You know what this is accomplishing? What Whirlwind Weasel accomplishes is what 5 Endymions or 5 Dawn Dragsters, or, you know, for example, what Guard Dog would accomplish. It accomplishes what the Heretic Seal is trying to do, which is lucky out of your extra deck, but this says no special summoning, period, for that turn. This says no spell or traps, period, that turn. So why do I have to negate them if you can't activate them? You can activate these cards on your opponent's draw phase. Why? Because Terror Tray is a spell speed 2. If you have these cards face down, you just use her effect in your opponent's draw phase, target it, flip it up. If you're playing combo, flip Guard Dog, they're dead. If you're playing strikers, flip Whirlwind Weasel, they can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And these are just icing on the cake. You normally have a Winda up. So if you have Winda, you want to use Whirlwind Weasel. Winda says you can only special summon once. You flip Whirlwind Weasel, now you can only special summon once, and you can't activate any spells or traps. You can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I don't get why like people underestimate this deck and say it's not good. Like I'll play people for money with this deck. Like this deck is really good. Like I will literally play you for money with this deck if you think that my prediction princesses can't body you. Then Reversible Beetle is the next card that we're gonna talk about. Now this card's pretty busted. I'll go ahead and read you his effect. He actually came out very recently in Rising Rampage, so it's not like he's an old school card. He's a really nice addition to this archetype. I do my research, you guys. I look up all my stuff. So this was a new tech that I knew when this card came out. I knew nobody was talking about this because it's a common, it's a flip effect, but I knew that this would help my deck a lot. So I was happy about this. Flip effect. Shuffle this card and any face-up monsters in its column into the decks. You want to put this card in the even columns where the extra monster zones are so that you can shuffle the extra monster zone and whatever's beneath it. That's its flip effect. It shuffles face-up monsters in its columns into the deck. It doesn't target, it doesn't destroy. It's an interruption on your opponent's turn. How do you get it in the column you want, 3 stacks? Terror Tray summons it from the grave in any column you want. It has another effect too. If this card's normal or special summon, change this card and any monsters in its column to face down defense position. The card is like a Book of Eclipse on summon. It literally, you can normal this card and put it face down, including everything in its column. It's good going second. This card is nuts, okay? This card is nuts. It's really good for this deck. This is the flip effect monster, and it's good for this deck. So that's pretty much it for all. Well, there's one more flip effect staple that I play, and it's going to be Angle. Angle is just an extender. That's what she is. She's going to bring back stuff from the grave or the hand. She's just like Terror Tray, but even better. It gives you more fuel so that you can set up for your Phoenix plays next turn, because Behemoth Phoenix can be, it could just equal out to a Boar Sword OTK. So that's pretty much it for your non-Shaddol stuff. Now we're going to move forward to the Shaddolls, and first we're going to start off with our starter cards, our normal summon starters. We play 3 Rescue Cat and 3 Spirit of the Fallen. These are the normal summons that you play in the deck. Now, obviously, you can normal summon any of your flip effect monsters. So any monster that's not Terror Tray and Pot of Forbidden can be normal summoned. But these are your ideal normal summons. This can search any flip effect monster. If you open this plus Shaddol Fusion, it literally can just be a Wendigo, worst case scenario. But it can also, this plus Pre-Prep is a 2-card combo that gets you Terror Tray and Pot of Forbidden. That's pretty nuts. Rescue Cat helps to speed up the deck. So when you summon Behemoth Phoenix turn 1, it speeds everything up. Because now you can actually summon Terror Tray, use her, and you basically can target Pot of Forbidden, flip it up, draw 2, overlay into True King of All Calamities on your first turn. Rescue Cat helps you out to do stuff like that. It's a really nutty card. It's like, essentially, it can be a +2 depending on how you work with it. But the main thing, too, is it also gets your Whirlwind Weasel and your guard Dog out of your deck so that you can bring whichever one you want back from during the end phase off Terror Tray. You can just pick whichever one is more important. And that's when you have information. So sometimes it's imperative, if you're able to, which this deck can do, it's not impossible, you can actually target your Pot of the Forbidden and flip him face up on your turn to look at your opponent's hand so you know what deck you're playing. So then you don't pick Guard Dog and you're playing Sky Strikers, or you don't pick Whirlwind Weasel when you're playing Thunder. So you know which one is more important. You get what I'm saying? So that's insight for my deck. So now for the Shaddolls. I played 3 Squamatas. I played 3 Hedgehog. I'm not about to explain Shaddolls. They're so old, dude. I played 2 Falco. I play, where's my second Dragon? Because I love Dragon. I played 2 Dragon. I played 2 copies of Beast. I decided to go a little bit heavier on the Shaddol count because I realized that this deck just doesn't operate the same when you don't have access to Shaddolls. So you just need to see the cards in general, and Shaddol Fusions are dead without Shaddolls. Sometimes you just need one because you play so many different attributes that you have a variety of options in the terms of what you can fusion summon for, but you need to have at least one Shaddol to summon their fusions in the first place. Now for the spells. 3 Las Vegas, 1 Optimus Prime to search it out. It searches out your ritual spell, or it searches out your Terror Tray. We play 3 pre-preps. It's really important getting access to the ritual portion of this deck because Territory speeds this deck up, and that's the point. We also play 3 Allures of Darkness because this deck needs that speed. It needs those specific hands sometimes where you want like the God hand. What you want is pre-prep Pot of the Forbidden with Rescue Cat. That's a 3-card combo. That's like the God hand. Those 3 cards are perfect. The other 2 cards in your hand, if you have like for example a Shaddol Fusion and a Shaddol, like that's just amazing. So you need draw cards like the Allure of Darkness to help get you there. I would play Pot of Desires, but my fear of banishing certain targets, because I play 2 Guard Dogs, 2 Weasels, and 2 Pot of Forbidden, I'm too scared. Like, I'm too much of a weenie, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not a real man. I can't do Desires in this list. Not because it's not a good card, but just because, like, I have to have those cards. Like, I can't risk banishing all of them. If I wanted to play Desires, I'd have to bump stuff up to 3. So we have 3 Prediction Ritual. It's what summons Territory. Every time you summon Territory, you get a follow-up because you can banish this during your next turn to search for a Prediction Ritual, a Prediction Princess monster. I also play 3 copies of Shaddol Fusion. It's really bonkers. People don't play around this anymore. Going second, you can blow people out still. 3 Super Poly, same thing. You can blow people out going second. It's interactive going first. You can set it in your back row. You have a Shaddol for every attribute, so there's no deck that you can't Super Poly. You can Super Poly any deck in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As long as you have a Shaddol on your field. And then 1 L Shaddol because Super Poly kind of is better than L. And you only need 1. You can recycle it, and you can search it. You can play more, but it's overkill because you already have Super Polys in your main deck. And I still play the 1 Shaddol core. It's very important for the grind game. This deck goes into grind games very often because what happens is you'll stalemate your opponent, but you can't OTK them. So now we're both grinding because we can't kill each other. Now for the extra deck, we play 2 Behemoth Phoenix. Not 1, but 2. If it ever gets negated and destroyed, the second one comes up all the time. We play 1 Shaddol Construct. This was a mockery that they even made this card. They should have made it a Link 1 and gave it a way better effect. Like, add any Shaddol, like, a Link 1 that says, if this card's Link Summon, add any Shaddol card from your deck to your hand. Why didn't they do that? I don't know. But it's still a decent card. It's just not that great. But in the terms of extending to get your Boar Sword plays, it's pretty nuts because you could just summon it from the graveyard pretty freely, open up zones for yourself to make more fusions, and also when you're done with it, link it off into a Boar Sword. And those are the 4 links that I play. Next up, I played 2 Windas, 2 Shikinagas. These are the only fusions I doubled up on because these are the most relevant in today's meta. Obviously, Constructs at 1. Grista is a really good disruptive card, especially against Salamagrates. When you Super Poly them, you don't summon Violet Chimera. You Super Poly them and summon Grista so that their next play, you can just negate their summon. Like, especially if they reveal Gazelle, for example, or something weird like that. It negates summons. That's what makes a card so good. And plus, with these cards like this in Shikinaga, you can disrupt your opponent multiple times because you can use their effect and then send a dragon and then pop a back row. So you can go negate, pop, negate, pop. It gets really cool. Annoyatilis is not only for when you play water and other decks that run water attribute, again against Shizuku as well, but it's a floodgate. It actually says neither player can special summon from the graveyard. I believe it's just graveyard. It could be from the hand as well. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is hand or graveyard. Yeah, that's what I figured. I always remembered it was graveyard, but I forget it's from the hand too. Neither player can special from the hand or graveyard using spell or trap effects. So what that stops is extenders basically, and it can kind of hurt certain decks. So just be careful how you use the card and when you use it, because sometimes you'll summon it in the wrong matchup, and you don't ever want to do that. We play 1 Wendigo as well. I don't expect to run into any Wind decks, but I do play Spirit of the Fallen, and it's always nice to be able to protect your own cards with Wendigo. And I play also Starving Venom, because even though we play Super Poly in the Shaddols, you're not always going to draw a Shaddol. Sometimes you'll draw Super Poly and no Shaddols in hand. It happens, and you need a valid Super Poly target, otherwise it's a dead draw. And then for Synchros, I play 1 Black Rose. That's the Synchro of choice, because this deck can really struggle going against established boards, and sometimes you got to grind it out. And then I play the 1 True King of all Chlamydia. You can summon this turn 1 because of Rescue Cat now. Other times you weren't able to do it unless it was on the follow-up play, but now you can do Calamities on your first turn, which Calamities is just such a strong card. So thank you guys so much for watching my profile. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some insight on Prediction Princess Shaddolls. When the structure deck comes out, I'm still playing Prediction Princess Shaddolls. I'm just going to put the new Shaddol cards in it. So God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And can we please get Construct at 3? Thank you so much. Peace.